What's up guys, Draco here, random thoughts about penguins. Because I did birds a while back, but I haven't done penguins. But yeah, I've been just thinking about my childhood, and just a number of reasons. And penguins used to be my favourite animal. They're not anymore. My favourite animal's currently snakes. But yeah, I still love penguins, they're very cute. They're pretty cool. Yeah, and I was just thinking I wish I could. Do I wish I could be a penguin? I've said before, I think I'd love to be a pig. I'd love to be that whole thing about better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. I'm like, this is wrong. I want to be a satisfied pig. Like in the Matrix, I'd happily take I think it's the blue pill to stay in the Matrix. I would just take the blue pill. Why live with the horrors of the world? You can just be ignorant and happy. I'm fully on board with the ignorance is bliss belief. Many people say I'm wrong for that, but, I just think, a world where people are happy, even if they don't know the truth, or if they're, happy for stupid reasons. I mean, obviously, being ignorantly blissful can lead to harm down the line, if it's for example, if a group of people are doing a bunch of stuff bad, and then you just ignore them, and you're like, oh, I'm happy because I just don't know about these people doing bad stuff, then, well, you ignore that bad stuff, and then it hurts you a lot in the long run. But if you don't know, if there's not a thing going on, you just, for a pig who's just a pet, they're not very intelligent, but they're not really coming to any harm, especially not in their lifetime, so as far as they're concerned, they're fine, why worry? Also, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go down this tangent. If you've, so I've been playing Persona 5, or not playing, I have played Persona 5 Royal, but I just rewatched a playthrough of it recently. I'm gonna talk about Persona 5 Royal probably for a lot of this thing, so if you have not played it and you want to play it, this will probably have spoilers for it, so I'd recommend you leave now. If you have played it, or if you just don't really care about spoilers, feel free to stick around. So yeah, in the end of Persona 5 Royal, you have Maruki, and he makes everyone happy. And I never really understood how he was the villain. People say, oh, wow, but people aren't, free, and this isn't the actual reality, but... Well, first of all, it isn't actual reality. It's well, it has become reality now. And people aren't free, and they're just sort of, going on with their life choices. I'm like, yeah, but everyone's happy. There's no one who's suffering in this. What's the issue? Now, I understand, some people are happy, and it's well, you're happy, and you're blissfully ignorant, but everyone else is suffering. And that's where I think the ignorance is bliss can sometimes be bad. But in this scenario, and also in the in the Matrix, no one's really suffering when they're in that place. They only suffer because they choose to leave. And I'm like, you just don't choose to leave. Similarly here, no one's actually suffering. With the other distorted designs, it's well, this person thinks they're great and they're really happy, but they're causing everyone else to suffer. But with Maruki, no one's in a bad spot. I'd even say the same for Yadwayoth, or however you pronounce it, the false god. When Yadwayoth takes over, everything looks terrifying. There's pillars coming out of the ground and everything. But if everyone becomes lazy and they're wow, we're chained up. But they're not, they're only chained up in cognition. Well, they're not chained up actually. And they seem pretty happy with everything that's going on, even though it looks terrifying to an onlooker. Because I guess they've been, induced with the sin of sloth or whatever. But they don't really care. And I think if everyone's happy, even if it looks terrifying from an outside perspective, it's well, no one's actually suffering, so why is it in the wrong? I would say, if you think that Maruki's in the wrong, you have to admit that... Sorry, if you think Maruki's in the right, you'd have to admit that Yaldabaoth is also in the right, because whilst Maruki makes everyone's wishes come true and everyone's happy, like, so does Yaldabaoth. It just makes it so that everyone's wishes align with the Yaldabaoth's, whereas Maruki makes everyone's individual wishes happen. But they do end up in the same scenario of everyone's just happy with their wishes being granted and they don't really have any intention of progressing as a society. But I don't have an issue with admitting either of them are in the right. I think they're both perfectly correct. So that's why I'm like, are the Phantom Thieves really in the right in that scenario? Like, I don't know. I also really... I do think that Maruki isn't the best therapist, though. Like, if someone came to me and was like, hey, my older sister died, I don't think I'd be very on board if their advice was, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna make so that you just adopt their identity. You don't need to move on. You can just become them. And, like, I think he says... Oh, what's the exact word he says? I can't remember. I think he says, like, how could anyone live like that? And I'm like, you're a therapist. That's your job. To help her live like that. So, yeah. Persona 5 is a great game, by the way. I'm just saying, like, I don't really think the villains are in the wrong by all the last two villains weren't really in the wrong. All the other villains were definitely in the wrong. Futaba didn't really do much. She was just depressed. But then again, I guess that's kind of the point. The fact, like, she was so depressed. I guess the distortion doesn't necessarily have to be that they're morally wrong. It's just they're so distorted from reality. It could be distorted in ways of either hurting others or just being depressed and hurting himself. Which I guess is still wrong, but it's different. Anyway. But yeah, I guess that's why Futaba's the only one that's actually, like, redeemed as a character. Well, Maruki gets redeemed, but I also don't think he was in the wrong. But then, like, I like the taxi driver at the end. The fact that he becomes a taxi driver, because it shows that he's just, like, chaperoning people around, because he's still guiding people where they want to go in life. Because I like that his character didn't completely flip, and it's like, wow, therapy went wrong, I'm going to completely change it. But, like, he still wants to guide people in life. Because he definitely had good intentions from the start. I mean, I think his actions were good, but even if you think his actions are wrong, you can never really say Maruki had bad intentions. So, yeah. But, I don't know. This was a video about penguins, wasn't it? I've not said much about penguins. So, yeah, I've not watched Happy Feet, but I have seen a lot of clips of it, and it's weird. Like, who made that movie? Because there's just... It's oddly sexual. There's, like, weird sexual references, and I'm just like, this is a kid's movie. Don't put that in there. Because, it's just so... whatever. Like, the first line of the movie is, like, you don't have to be hot to turn me on. And I'm like, what? And there's, like, catcalling in it. Anyway. But yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I know why penguins are my favourite animal. I think they were just cute, and I also like the cold. I don't, other than I like the cold, I don't really know. I think I also just liked a lot of, like, aquatic stuff, and I liked swimming, and I was like, wow, swimming's cool. And I'd probably gone to an aquarium or something and be like, wow, those are cute. And they're swimming. Whoa. It's kind of weird that penguins can't fly, because actually dodos were pretty small. But I think most, like, flightless birds, like the ostrich, the emu, they're usually quite big. And that's usually why they can't fly, because they're quite heavy. But I also know very little about bird biology, or just biology in general, so I can't really comment much more on that. So yeah. But yeah, I think I'd probably rather be a pig than a penguin. I guess penguins also just get, like, killed a lot. To be fair, I don't know much about wild pigs. But I don't know. I just think being a penguin sounds quite boring, because there isn't much there. There's just, like, ice everywhere. A pig, you can at least be like, wow, this is tree, this is grass, this is mud. There's a lot of different things, whereas penguins, like, cool as ice, cool as water. You get more experience as a pig. On my tier list of animals to be, pig is like A to S. Penguin's probably like B. Human's about D tier. I don't like being a human. I'd love to be another animal. But yeah. Although if I was another animal, I couldn't like listen to it. I love music so much. Music's great. Dude, other animals probably like music. They just don't listen to it much. I don't know. I'm sure someone's done loads of scientific research about what animals like music and what they kind of like and what genre and stuff. I haven't researched that because I have no idea and I'm not intelligent. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day. I don't really know how to link this into penguins because this video really wasn't penguin related. Bye!